Welcome back to Tipton Bros. Today, we'll be recounting the final moments of Wild Bill Hickok and how this frontier legend met an untimely demise at the hands of a coward. Before we begin, I must disclose that I am no expert and never claimed to be. Now, let's get into it. 1876. James Butler Hickok, better known by the alias Wild Bill, sought to retire from his former glory. A man of many titles, Hickok's most valuable sense began to fail him, his eyesight. During a doctor's visit that same year in Kansas City, Missouri, the legendary lawman was officially diagnosed with glaucoma and ophthalmia, two conditions which substantially diminished his vision. Wild Bill dealt with eye troubles since 1871, but by 1876 his overall health seemed to be on the decline at only 39 years of age. Retreating from a public persona, Hickok joined his close friend, Charles Utter, on a wagon train bound for the Dakota Territory in search of gold. The caravan would arrive in July to the city of Deadwood, located in modern-day western South Dakota. There, Hickok would revert to his vices, specifically gambling. He had a knack for poker and was never one to turn down a game of cards. For nearly a month, Wild Bill frequented the local saloons and gambling houses, reportedly making a decent living. This persisted until August 1st, 1876, when James Butler Hickok would unknowingly meet the man who would take his life. That day, Wild Bill played poker at Nuttall & Mann's Saloon No. 10 late into the evening as he had many nights before. A chair opened up at his table and a clearly inebriated Jack McCall sat down to play. In a drunken stupor, lost hand after hand, likely embarrassing himself in the process. Hickok took pity on him and encouraged McCall to leave the game until he could cover his losses. Wild Bill even offered money to pay for tomorrow's breakfast in a bid of good faith. McCall accepted the gift and exited the saloon, but was secretly and deeply insulted by the gesture. The following day, around noon, Hickok returned to Nuttall & Mann's to get his fill of poker. He scanned the room intently for an open spot, but the only chair remaining was a seat facing away from the door. Typically, Wild Bill never sat with his back to an entrance for his own safety, a way to keep his wits about him. Unfortunately, on August 2nd, the seasoned gunslinger would make a fatal mistake, ignoring the steadfast personal rule. Hickok sat, but not without reservation, twice asking the man across from him, Charles Rich, to switch seats. He refused both times. Shortly after, Jack McCall entered the saloon, walked up behind Wild Bill, and drew his .45 caliber Colt single-action Army. He leveled the revolver, took aim, and shouted, "Damn you, take that," before shooting James Butler Hickok at point-blank range in the back of the head. Hickok died instantly, his lifeless body slumping forward. The projectile exited his right cheek and struck riverboat captain William Massey in the left wrist. Wild Bill was playing 5-card stud when he was killed. In his possession, 2 pairs, black aces and black eights of an unspecified suit. This has come to be known as the dead man's hand. Hickok's 5th or down card remains unidentified, but the entire situation is a point of contention amongst historians. Jack McCall clambered for the back door, but was apprehended by a slew of angry men who held him overnight. He was subsequently put on trial in front of a haphazardly assembled jury, composed of local businessmen and miners who didn't care to be there. Jack's defense argued that Hickok had slain his brother, Lou McCall, in Abilene, Kansas, and Jack was merely avenging the death of his loved one. The relationship between the two could not be corroborated, but that deceitful tall tale seemed to convince the jury, and Jack McCall was acquitted of murder. Roughly 8 months later, Jack was rearrested, after boasting he had slain the famous lawman on multiple occasions, his single cowardly claim to fame. He was brought to Yankton, the capital of the Dakota Territory, retried and found guilty, being sentenced to death. Jack McCall was hanged March 1st, 1877. And is today buried at Sacred Heart Cemetery in the southwest corner, located in Yankton County. His grave stayed unmarked until 2017, when a headstone was placed at the interment site. The reverse of the memorial reads, "Their sins and lawless acts I will remember no more." As for James Wild Bill Hickok, he rests at Mount Moriah Cemetery, located in Deadwood, South Dakota. His gravesite displays an ornate, lifelike bust atop a pedestal. It reads, J.B. Hickok, died August 2nd, 1876, by pistol shot, aged 39 years. Custer was lonely without him. The monument is fenced in and has become a popular tourist destination. The original spot of his assassination, Nuttall and Mann's No. 10 Saloon, is long gone, but a museum/bar stand in its place. Among other artifacts within the building is the chair Wild Bill was killed in. Behind glass, in a velvet-lined box, a reminder of the rampant brutality of the Old West. I hope you have enjoyed today's brief overview of the murder of Wild Bill Hickok. We are a small channel, so a like is greatly appreciated, and recommendations are always welcome. Again, I am no expert and never claim to be. Until next time on Tipton Bros.